Welcome to the Financial Times Business of Luxury conference that's being held this year in Monaco. With me now is Andrea Morante, Chief Executive of Pomellato, the Milanese jewellery brand that 2 years ago was partly taken over by Kering, the French luxury goods group. Andrea, thank you very much for being with me today. We've just come off a panel that was discussing innovation, manufacturing in the digital age. In terms of Pomellato, how do you see artisanship versus industrialization shaking out at your group?
Well, on the specific production side, I am quite happy to report, Rachel, that the amount of changes deriving from technological innovation are quite limited. And I think they will be also quite limited in the future. The reason why I say that with some degree of confidence is because it's really a decision which is driven by our clients. At a time in which most companies decide or try to understand which boutique is selling the most, is digital going to be the most important boutique, I am happy to report that in fact the boutique that is selling the best for us is our production side. And when you visit our production side, and we do that regularly with visitors coming from all over the world more and more, once they come and normally the first thing they do is they're asked to hold a lingot of gold, and then they start visiting our floor where they see these 100 artisans in their white overalls, very absorbed by what they're doing, using tools which were the same tools for the last 40 years. Once they've done that visit, they are quite happy to pay more for the same product. And that, to us, is obviously very positive feedback. And
in terms of disruption more generally in the hard luxury industry, Apple has emerged as a massive player disrupting the whole sort of consumer spending for high-end goods, 700 million iPhones sold, for example. How do you see the launch of the Apple Watch in particular disrupting this space?
I think the best thing is to observe these phenomena very seriously, take them very seriously, and then see to yourself whether they really apply in your own case or not. And I can see that, for example, in our case, we have a junior brand called Dodo, which is sort of associated more with a younger crowd. Well, I can see very clearly where one day our Dodo jewelry may communicate in a technological way among people who have the same jewelry, and it will be on the sentimental level. It will not be measuring heartbeats necessarily, or pressures, but it will certainly be a game that we have to look into very seriously and hope that nobody else will be ahead of us in that particular game.
As a final question, the outlook for the luxury industry at the moment, and particularly the hard luxury industry, how do you see that developing over this year and let's say in the short term, given the pressures we've had from slowing in Chinese consumption, for example?
Well, clearly the slowness, the slowing in Chinese consumption has had an impact, especially on watches. And having said that, I think there is a general trend within the hard luxury business of growth, and also a trend from non-branded to branded jewelry. So if I had to make a bet over the next 3 to 5 years, we will continue to sort of witness a significant and gradual increase in the sales of branded jewelry all over the world. And of course, watches will play a very significant role, both, if you will, the traditional watch and the iPhone watch.
Wonderful. Andrea Morante, Chief Executive of Pomellato, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, Rachel.